What is up, fellow benchwarmers? Welcome to your daily fantasy quickie. What's up, guys? Welcome to Judgment Day Week 22. We have, after this, 2 more weeks of season-long fantasy, and pretty much the season's over for season-long fantasy managers. Today, Commish is weeping once again. The playoff story continues. Unfortunately, it's another sad story for Commish. Not really. It's a mixed emotions because I have 2 teams that made it to the semis, and then another 2 teams that was eliminated today. So, tell your story, Commish. Champions League, the one we showed, I think, a couple of.
FBW Champions League, Jeremy showed the matchup yesterday. We knew that it was gonna be hard, as I was against CP3, Harden, Booker, Ayton, Drummond today. It still boiled down to the last 2 games. I was ahead by halftime of both games. 6-3, 5-4 or 6-3, but it was close. It was still close. I was up by 3 percentage points in field goal and couple of percentage points in free throw and assists, and then blocks I was up by 1 or something. But long story short, it boiled down to free throws. And Conley and Drummond got 2 attempts each in the second half.
Commish's player is Mike Conley and Spencer Dinwiddie. So he had 2 good free throw shooters.
Versus Drummond.
Yeah, Drummond is JC's player.
Yeah.
And he is not a good free throw shooter. But
long story short, they got 2 attempts. Conley missed both. Drummond made both. So I lost free throws.
Imagine that, and right?
Looking back, I checked if Conley made 1 and Drummond missed 1 out of 2, I would have won by, as I told Jeremy before we started, 0.0000 something percentage points, but I would have still won. Of course, if Conley made both, I would have won easily by at least a easier margin. But again, I don't know what percentage of free throw Conley makes, but I'm sure it's the high 80s. Right?
But I'm sure it's the high 80s. For sure. Today he shot 2 out of 5. For sure that's below his average. That's 40%. And Drummond shot 6 out of 11. He pretty much had a higher percentage. Drummond shot 6 out of 11 today. So
I was praying that he got fouled. I mean,
again,
I checked and I checked the computation, and I found out that if he misses 2 more, if he goes to the line and makes 0 out of 2, I would win. I would still win. So, but he wasn't fouled.
That's how this loss affected Commish so much. He computed all the possibilities.
Because it's the finals. You're down to the last game, half, and it was that close. It was. I told Jeremy by halftime at that point. I said, I think I got this, because free throws, assists, it's Drummond versus Conley. If I got free throws and assists, I win.
Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought?
So I said, this is safe. This is safe.
And another thing, as I was looking at the matchup, you were able to still save the field goal.
Yes.
Right? It could have gone to the other way, because you had Conley and Dinwiddie, who were not really known as high field goal percentage players, but not as high as Drummond. So that could have gone either way. But you got that, you secured that, and that gave a little more confidence.
I secured assists, which we thought that it's impossible to win because he had Harden and CP3, right?
Yeah, and Booker,
so
who somehow are good assist players, right? That's how it goes. Fantasy playoffs, that's how it goes, and that's what makes it exciting, I guess.
But not everything was bad. I won the invitationals coming from behind also. And just for a story there, Marvin Bagley was the big ad for me there.
Yeah. yeah, I think this week, just to sum this week up, there were a lot of the game changing ad was Chris Paul, and Chris Paul was the guy that was added in a lot of the leagues that helped those who won their matches today. And if you are in your semis, like in my match, Chris Paul was a
Yeah.
big ad for my opponent. And then in the bench warmers league, Chris Paul was also added by the champion, eventual champion. So, and I've seen lots of posts about Chris Paul being that, savior for them this week.
Yeah. Chris Paul was a game changer for sure. That was what cost me more likely the Champions League also. Although I did win assists. But I think if there was no Chris Paul, I would not have really been worried about assists. So I would have probably tried to get more blockers or shifted my strategy. I was too worried about it.
Yeah.
That it changed the complexion of the series. So Chris Paul was a big one. Bagley's another one. The last two games of Bagley was big. And what I did there actually in the Bagley thing was I added him one day before, which my opponent Jeff alluded to. I did add him just for today. I added him one day before, even if he didn't have a game yesterday, because I knew Jeff was gonna get him. I knew if I waited, he was not gonna be available. So I really added him early, and I just sacrificed a slot early because I needed field goals, and he was 11 out of 14 today, and that was it. That was it. So that perfect.
I mean, that's another factor in the playoffs. You don't want your opponents to get that player.
Yes.
And that's going to be a challenge in a league wherein the moves are limited, because you don't want to waste a move and then that player doesn't play. But at the same time, you don't want your opponent to get him while you regret not getting him, right? And that player might have cost you the match, right? Not having that player might have made that your opponent win. So that's another factor.
As we said, timing. The CP3 ad was about timing, about gambling and paying off and timing.
Yeah. No one really thought he would play midweek, and he had 27 assists this week. That's big. That's like for four. That's like for four streamers.
60% field goal. I think 18 points per game. 27.
How many free throws did he make?
He was perfect in the free throw, regardless how many he made. He was perfect, so he was the difference maker.
That's a big thing, because if your JC did not get him, he might have lost free throw.
Yes,
easily.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly. So again, lesson here. Even us, we learn. Players, as we said, hand injury versus other injuries. We have to consider that next time. Hand injuries really not as hard to come back from. Number two, if it's the level of Chris Paul, if there's any news that he might come back,
just add him.
Add him.
I mean,
add him.
He's not a 5th round, 6th round value player. He's a 2nd round, 1st round even type of player.
Add him.
So he is a player you should be adding. Anyway, moving on to week 23, just quickly. Injury first, Robert Williams. A casualty here. Injury casualty could be he is in danger of missing the whole week, I guess.
I think if it's just the week, then I think that will be good for Boston fans. I think it might be for the last 2 weeks of the season, because he was in pain, and I think they said knee sprain. So that could take a while.
Yeah,
could take a while.
In case these players are still available, Grant Williams, Daniel Case.
Hate you, Grant Williams. I streamed Grant Williams, didn't do much today. I mean,
who's the other option? Did you have another option?
Pace was another.
Did he play any better? I mean, for today, you streamed Grant Williams. Was there another option that you were looking at?
Grant Williams. I streamed Grant and Denny Abiha. Abiha did well. I forgot who the others I was looking. There's a lot of options. So
But in case this coming week 23, Grant Williams could be a good play, although I think Boston has only 3 games this week. But
Well,
still, I think
I was thinking of streaming Biombo. If I did that, I would have won. Right? I mean,
yeah,
who would have
that's a
thought, right?
yeah. Rudy Gobert was a late scratch today. Not sure if it was just a rest thing or um injury management thing. No really major ad for Gobert, I guess. Hard to replace player like I think Bet Pace and Grant Williams. I think Grant Williams is
Add that.
the highest potential, has the highest
Yes.
potential to be a fantasy contributor than Pace. Jaren Jackson Jr. will be resting tomorrow. Brandon Clark is also again questionable. No ads there. Kyle Anderson, maybe. Yeah, Kyle
I think,
Anderson.
well, JJJ is not yet sure of resting, but if he does, Kyle Anderson should be a good player to add.
Yeah. Draymond, Clay, and Otto Porter.
Yeah.
These guys don't play back to back. So, and just in case you still don't know, but these guys are not playing back to backs. So, players you can look into: Jonathan Kuminga, Kevon Looney, Damian Lee, those guys. Bogdan and Gallinari. Is Gallinari still out?
Yeah, his elbow. He didn't practice.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think
He
he's gonna.
injured an elbow.
Yeah.
So Okongwu and Dylan Wright could be good ads. And Gary Trent, Fred VanVleet, they are. Trent has been dropped in a lot of leagues already.
If he was dropped, could be a Chris Paul situation. Not as good, of course, but he's about to come back. If not tomorrow, it's middle of the week. So if you're in the finals, someone to consider if your field goal is already down anyway. Maybe need points, threes. Eventually, later on the week, Gary Trent.
Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
Is he resting? No.
No, I don't know. He said it's a sprain, a knee sprain, but he played the last game, then he's questionable again. So I don't know what's happening in Miami. They're imploding. So I'm staying away from them, from streaming them also.
Yeah. There's really not much good streams there as well for Miami. Other than the Cody Martin if Butler is hurt, but not too much. Other players you can add. Marvin Bagley is not there. Probably Killian Hayes if you need assists and steals. Torian Prince, like we said, be keeping. We've been doing it, saying it every time. Torian Prince, Jalen Noel if you need threes. Thomas Satoransky played again today. Played well. I think he had 7 or 8 assists. I think. Looks like a good stream already by this.
I'm not too sure, but I think they have a back-to-back coming up. I'm not too sure, but I think Satoransky is a good stream in that back-to-back. I think Wednesday, Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Brandon Ingram got returned today. So that's good news in case you're holding on and you're still alive. But LeBron James got injured today.
Yes.
We didn't mention it in our injured list a while ago, but yeah, he is injured. Didn't look good.
But he stayed
he stayed in the game because it was a very important game for them.
That they lost.
They lost. Yeah, it was another implosion. How many games have they lost being ahead? A lot. They lost to OKC, I think, twice.
Houston, right? I think, right?
They were leading most of that game. I think they were leading most of this game until the fourth quarter. So lots of implosion happening. Kyrie played his first game at home, and a lot of managers were not happy. I've seen some managers lose a 3-pointer, 2 3-pointers, and they had Kyrie, who was so hot the past few games, or pretty much throughout the season, right? I've never heard Kyrie had a bad game this year yet. This was the first one.
I guess he was too excited playing in front of the home crowd. So that happens. As I said, timing. It's just timing.
Yeah. Schedule week, like we said, schedule week 23 Cavs has the best one, 5 games. So if you have Garland on your lineup, Mobley, who else? Kevin Love, maybe.
Kevin Love, Markkanen.
If you are in a 12 team, players like Isaac Okoro might be available.
Lamar Stevens. I'm sure Caris LeVert won't play all 5 games. So that will give them even more minutes, more usage. But upcoming Cavs do not have a back-to-back tomorrow and the first 2 days. It's, I think, Chicago, right?
Yeah, Chicago has a back-to-back.
Yeah. So if you still can add, look at Chicago's maybe Caruso. Caruso is the best ad right now for streaming purposes because of the back-to-back.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it for today's quickie. I guess that's all we have for today's quickie. Congratulations, by the way, to the winners of our leagues, our head-to-head public leagues. The 500 peso buy-in leagues, the Rookies League was won by Rondell. Brigino was also a champion last year in one of our free leagues. Luigi Custodio won the Veterans League. And Indy Jacobe won the Castaway League. Those are 500 peso buy-in leagues. And then for our 1,000 peso buy-in leagues, Renald Felicerta won the Starters League. Jingo won the All-Star League. And then for our 1,500 peso buy-in leagues, Chino De Villa won the Benchwarmers League. And Frank Vibar won the Superstars League. And of course, the Champions League was won by JC Jasso, a professional fantasy manager who I'm sure is pretty happy that he was able to win that league. And I'm looking forward to next year's Champions League. Actually, I think this year, there were some challenges with this year's league because last year's participants were joining a free league. It was competitive, but of course, I didn't expect some of the teams this year weren't as competitive. I'm pretty sure next year the Champions League would be really competitive, given that, the managers this year were really looking forward to. I mean, some of the guys really just wanted to get in the Champions League. And I still got some messages about that league, Champions League as well. And so I'm pretty sure next year would be much more competitive Champions League for us. So yeah, that's all. We're pretty much done with the public leagues. So all we're waiting for is the invitational league. So that's one thing Commish will be worrying about this week. He's not having a good year, guys. He's not having a good year with all the injuries. But I have to say, he's been impressive despite all those bad drafts, bad injuries. Like he had Julius Randle, he had Anthony Davis in one league, he had the Aaron Fox in a lot of leagues.
In both the champs and the invitationals. Actually, this season has taken a lot of my energy because, as I said, I have to admit I didn't draft well in my leagues, but I had to really do everything I can. Like in this Champions League, this team really is something. I'll never forget this team. Brogdon, SGA, Kristaps. I'll never forget.
Those are big. Brogdon missed pretty much the whole week, right? He played one
SGA
game.
Also.
SGA missed pretty much the whole week.
The whole week, yeah.
So
I'll never forget you guys.
Those were good. Those were bad. Those were really bad. But yeah, I mean, this time of the season, I think we can't really complain much about these misses. I mean, no one really expected SGA to be still playing, right? I mean, when we started the
Conley
season.
Also. Conley, I'll never forget you, Mike Conley.
But that's the biggest one, Mike Conley, the missed free throws of Conley.
But they did play, enough to get me through.
Yeah, I mean, you played. I think you played well enough for you to get close. I mean, when we looked in at JC's lineup, the first impression we had was this is going to be really tough, right?
Yes.
Because of everyone was healthy in his lineup. Everyone was good. There was really not many holes in that team, and then he picked up Chris Paul. Everything went well. And to have that fighting chance was still.
But actually, my team is strong. If you look at my team,
Yeah,
it's strong.
if they played, right?
If
That's
they
the
played.
only concern. If they played. I mean, you still have to be happy that Kristaps played all games.
Yeah, that was big. Kristaps
right?
playing was big.
Yes. I think you had Carl Anthony Towns, who was questionable for a few games, but still played, right?
Still played, but Towns was a big disappointment. This he didn't play first round level this week, so that was disappointing.
Well, if you notice, he hasn't been playing first round level for the past few weeks.
Maybe the injury.
I think he's just playing because Minnesota has something to play for. They want that 6th seed, and they need Carl Anthony Towns to get that 6th seed. But he hasn't been playing well for quite some time now. Not in mid-season form, I guess.
Yeah, and by the way, another thing that helped me won the Invitationals, I was awake when Randall was cleared, and my ally Joao actually even messaged me to, hey, Randall is playing, play him. And actually I said no, I'm not playing him because I knew if I play him I would lose the field goal. He was 6 of 21 in field, 6 of 22 or something.
So you did not play Randall?
I did not play Randall. Joao played Randall in his other league and he lost because of Randall. And he's telling me right now that he should not have played Randall. I said it's a Trojan horse. I mean, I didn't care because the rebounds was close, but I didn't care. I just said no way. If I played Randall, I'm sure I'm gonna lose field goal. It's gonna be game over. So I didn't play him. So sometimes you don't just play players just because they're
just
stars.
Yeah.
That's just another lesson.
Yeah. So exciting season, I guess. Exciting season this year. And we have a couple of more weeks before we officially end the Roto League. So we have 2 leagues still going on, the Invitationals and the Roto League. We'll post more updates about that in the next weeks. And with that, we'll see you guys again tomorrow for another Daily Fantasy Group. Bye.